riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that we has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick an album or a song, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you if we hate it and, of course, why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, Donnie to my Marky Mark, Timothy Richardson. Donnie, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, actually.
Oh, why is that?
Well, based on several of our interns recently getting grills and your shameful harmonica bit last week, I had a new business idea. Working with a team of very expensive biomedical and mechanical engineers, I have designed a grill that simultaneously makes the grill bearer appear to be some sort of diamond vampire and also has built-in harmonica reeds that ensure that every word you say will be accompanied by a shrill atonal harmonica blast. It is as spooky as it is annoying, or as annoying as it is spooky, depending, but I have one very eager pre-order from somewhere called Snohomish, Washington, who asked if it could be made permanent in one's mouth or if it would be removable by default, and then this person called me a coward when he said I was planning to make it removable.
What's that guy's aim? Coward. Now, answer me this. Could I enjoy a beverage while wearing this monstrosity?
Sure, but it would make a horrible noise as you drink.
A horrible gurgling harmonic sound.
Well, again, it's harmonica reeds. I cannot guarantee the sound will be harmonic in any way.
That's reasonable. Alrighty. Legal disclaimers out of the way and terrible products out of the way. Tim, what song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the 1989 not a single Funky Funky Xmas by the New Kids on the Block, or NKOTB, as we at the WIHTA have nicknamed them.
Here at the WIHTA HQ. Yeah, absolutely, Tim. And after an entire week with Donnie and the gang, NKOTB, and their incredibly funky Christmas, I'm apoplectic. Do you hate this song?
Yes, Garrett. This thing just plain sucks. This is true, terrible. This is
harsh words.
Trash. Garrett, do you hate this?
Yeah, man, this is awful. I mean, I love a good devil's advocate, certainly when it means that's going to piss you off, but I can't even play this week. It's horrible.
Yeah, your reputation as a liar comes to an end this week.
Accusations aside, I had very low expectations this week, and somehow they missed them.
Yeah.
Shocking. More on that in just a minute, but before we do, I'm a little curious, Tim, what's your history with NKOTB? I'm a touch older than you, mere months really, but I'm guessing my history and yours are wildly different. So tell me, what's your exposure to these boys?
Very, very little. As far as I knew, I had not heard this before. I'm honestly not all that familiar with this funky bunch. I am, of course, a huge fan of Donnie Wahlberg's acting career, though. His portrayal of Detective Eric Matthews breathed new life into the Saw franchise, and he is a major reason why Saw 2 is on the list of cinema's all-time great sequels. But I am not that familiar with NKOTB. What about you, though? This stupid song seems like it was right in your wheelhouse. Are you a blockhead? I assume you drove your truck to the mall to get this on cassette tape the day it came out, you old fuck. I'm sorry, that last part was too aggressive, but I do accuse you of being old.
I have zero offense taken because of how insane what you just said is. I was, 5 when this came out, 6. So no, I did not drive my truck to go pick up a copy of New Kids on the Block Funky Funky Christmas. However, I was in the States when they were a smash hit. I also had an older sister. So what she liked, I liked. And in this case, that was the New Kids on the Block. Their transcendent album, Hangin' Tough, with the titular song as well, really was a big part of my, age 6 and maybe half of age 7 young life. But as quickly as they arrived, they did disappear. But before they did, I did amass a single of Hangin' Tough. I also had a New Kids on the Block beach towel that was as thin as it was scratchy.
just like the band itself.
Yeah, it really hurt physically. And what else? Oh, and a button that I thought was pretty cool.
Like one of those old, like, I like Ike buttons.
Yes, but New Kids.
Yeah, same generation.
Like a year and a half older than you. Anyway, so yeah, I was a New Kids kid.
You were a blockhead.
Yeah, okay, I was really trying to avoid that, but yes, I was a blockhead, or at least as much as a 6-year-old can be. Oh, actually, I am leaving out a detail. I actually saw the New Kids on the Block live and in concert.
In college.
No. Nice try. No, around the same age, we went to Six Flags and they were performing at the outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah, that's, I don't know at which point in their career that is. I don't know if that's the good part, but we'll get to it.
Yikes. I think it's on the way up.
Okay.
I hope. I mean, I was 6 or 7, so they were like 11 and 12, I would imagine. Yeah, so that's my history. A lot more robust than you. I'm a little bit older, had that influence of the older sister, and of course lived in the United States of America. You were off, at your madrasa or whatever.
It was that.
Accurate. Anyway, so that's your history. That's
We'll get into 9/11 in this episode. Make no mistake about it.
I never did. Okay, well, that's my history. That's your history. That is to say, robust and none at all. Although, I say robust. Aside from that one album where they really hit it big, I immediately completely let go of them. Well, I couldn't tell you another thing about them.
Again, you and the rest of America, we will get to it.
Okay, fair enough. Alrighty, Tim. Well, enough of this teasing. Let's get down to brass tacks. That's your history. That's my history, but it wouldn't be the WIHTA podcast if we didn't tell the folks a little bit about this band. So take me on a journey, help you understand who was NKOTB, and how in the fuck did anybody allow Funky Funky Xmas to happen?
Well, shockingly, NKOTB is still NKOTB. We will get there. This story, though, begins with Larry Curtis Johnson, aka Maurice Starr, the New Kids' Lou Pearlman. See, Maurice was born in 1953 in Deland, Florida, a filming location for Adam Sandler's fourth best film, The Waterboy, after, of course, Bulletproof, Uncut Gems, and Murder Mystery 2. He would move...
Hold on. Don't care for the original Murder Mystery?
Well, no. I mean, again, this is one of cinema's all-time great sequels. It far surpasses...
Wait, no, you said that about Saw 2 a moment ago. Now you're saying Murder Mystery 2 is also one of cinema's all-time greatest sequels?
Yes.
What a coincidence that both of the all-time greatest sequels would come up in the same episode. I feel like if another sequel comes up, it will also be added to the list. Is that accurate?
I cannot foresee another sequel coming up, Garrett.
Back to the Future 2.
That's a great sequel.
God damn it.
No. It's a great sequel, but I wouldn't put it on the all-time great sequels list.
You're putting Murder Mystery 2, some straight-to-streaming Jennifer Aniston bullshit. What?
I'm not saying that it is a better movie than
I hate this. The more you reveal, the more I hate this argument. Please finish your thought, you stupid bitch.
That's very rude. What I'm saying is the sequel. So it's a very complicated formula. There's a sigma in there that I'm not 100% sure what it means. The point is that it's sequel. If you boil it down, though, it basically works out to sequel quality divided by quality of the original.
Wow.
So I mean, again,
if you
it's
have a
much
dog
more
shit
complicated.
original and the sequel's moderately better, or moderately good, but much better than the original, it's going to go down as one of the greatest sequels of all time.
It could very well. It depends on what that number comes out to be.
And whatever cosine means.
Yes.
I've seen the formula. Folks, I can tell you right now, it's nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Garrett, Maurice Starr moved to Boston in the early 1970s to make it big in the music business, because I guess that's where the music business was happening at the time.
I guess.
He was in the Johnson Brothers. He was in the John Zun crew before he went solo, where he was described as, and I'm quoting here, a cross between Berry Gordy and P.T. Barnum. He released 2 solo albums before deciding that he should not be a solo artist or the face of anything. Instead, Garrett, he went looking for boys.
Oh.
And boys he did find, Garrett. He discovered New Edition in 1982 at a talent show that he put on specifically to lure in some boys. New Edition actually came in second, but they seemed less financially savvy than the first place band, allegedly, so Maurice chose them. New Edition is mostly notable in this context for featuring frequent criminal Bobby Brown, who would go on to claim credit for both the moonwalk and MC Hammer's diaper pants.
I really thought you were going to say wife.
I guess I did not do that much research on Bobby Brown, but it sounds horrifying. Maurice became their Lou Pearlman and insisted on co-writing or writing a lot of their music. After New Edition's first major tour, they returned home and were each given a check for, guess how much, Garrett?
I'll go high. $1,000.
$1.87 for their work. Now, Maurice was let go in 1984 for embezzling every bit of money they made from that tour, with the exception of a combined $11.22, if my math is correct, allegedly. And he responded by creating New Kids on the Block, a white version of New Edition, saying, and I'm quoting here, "I honestly believe that if they'd been white, New Edition would have been 20 times as big, and I could have taken them for 20 times more money."
He said all that?
I think the last part might have been something Gino added in, but it was the 20 times as big. That's accurate.
You know, it's weird. The first part may be worse.
Yes. Donald Edmund Wahlberg Jr. was the 8th of 9 filthy Boston Irish children. I noticed a disapproving moan there. Groan.
Yeah, I feel like shots fired.
Do you think he was not filthy?
I don't know. I don't know if it was filth, but it feels like you're implying that because he was an Irishman from Boston that he might be a filth monster.
If he was born in 1967 or so, 68, somewhere in there, in Boston as an Irishman, the 8th of 9 children, Garrett.
He's filthy.
Yeah.
He's filthy. He's just living in a potato sack.
Yeah, he might be living in a hollowed out potato. Who knows? Anyway, Garrett. Donnie was the first boy that caught Maurice's eye, and he became the first new kid on the block at the tender, angry young age of 15 due to his cool, slick rapping skills. Now, he brought his 13-year-old brother Michael Marky Mark Wahlberg along with him as an additional boy, although Marky Mark would leave after only a few months. Donald then recruited some additional high school boys, including Jamie Kelly, Jordan Knight, Jonathan Knight, and Danny Wood. Jamie Kelly was presumably extremely creeped out by this whole thing and got the hell out of there pretty quickly, so Maurice recruited 12-year-old Joey McIntyre from some sort of boys-in-waiting stable he ran, allegedly, and began to, and I'm quoting the internet here, rehearse the boys after school and on weekends. He somehow got them a contract pretty immediately with Columbia Records, which seems suspicious.
Yeah.
But specifically their black music division, which was intended to be marketed almost exclusively to black audiences. They were originally called Nanook, which according to legend was either meaningless nonsense or based on a Native American word, unclear which, but Columbia absolutely hated that name and made them change it, so they settled on New Kids on the Block from a Donald Wahlberg penned rap song. In June 1986, former NKOTB boy Marky Mark Wahlberg and some friends attacked some black children and yelled that they were going to murder them.
How is this relevant?
This is the history of the band, history and future. Don't worry and get used to it. I have a lot of this in here.
Don't worry and get used to it. maybe the new tagline for the show. WIHTA podcast, don't worry and get used to it.
Anyway, Garrett, Marky Mark and some friends attacked some black children and yelled that they were going to murder them, along with some racial epithets that Paramount Plus and CBS have asked me not to say, even though they would bleep them. Apparently, it upsets the editor. The following day, Marky Mark followed some black fourth graders on a field trip to a beach, where he yelled racial epithets, threw rocks at them, and persuaded others to join in because apparently he was a charismatic, racist little creep, allegedly. He was issued a civil rights injunction and told that if he committed another hate crime, he would be jailed, working off of that first 2 hate crimes are free thing we were apparently had going for us in the 1980s.
It's almost like those of us who can't commit atrocities will never achieve greatness. Because the same level of like delusion and self-importance that would lead somebody to do the horrible racist things you're describing also like lets them believe like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go star in a bunch of movies. Everybody's gonna want to see me.
Yeah, well,
and
so
then
I mean,
they do.
What you're describing is, in fact, the secret, right? You have to be a sociopath. If you'd like to make it in business, you gotta be a sociopath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
It's really troubling.
NKOTB released a self-titled album in 1986 that was mostly kind of bubblegum poppy, for the most part written and produced by skilled boy wrangler Maurice Starr. Their single did poorly, and they had to tour exclusively New England bars and school dances, but somehow Starr convinced Columbia to give them a second chance chance at a second album.
Did you ever have school dances with bands?
No, we had DJs, but I lived in Saudi Arabia, so...
Same, though. I lived in Fort Worth, and we had DJs. There were no live bands ever at our dances.
Yes.
I think that's just
like
gone
in high
now.
school. I mean, I didn't go to a lot of I went to like a homecoming and prom, and I think both of those, I want to say both of those had DJs as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Listeners, write in, heypodmail@gmail.com. Did you go to a school with actual school dances with a band, or was it all DJs by the time we were all growing up?
Yeah. In 1988, a 16-year-old former NKOTB boy, Marky Mark Wahlberg, assaulted a Vietnamese American man on the street, knocking him unconscious with what it sounds like a bat, but for legal reasons, the internet seemed to not want to describe specifically as a bat, and called him Vietnam fucking shit. Later that day, he attacked another Vietnamese American man, punching his eye. He would later say that he thought he had blinded that second guy, but it turns out that the second guy was not blinded by Marky Mark, but instead had lost his eye during the Vietnam War whilst he was fighting alongside Americans against the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese People's Army of Vietnam like a goddamn hero.
I know about these incidents, but I don't understand why they come in pairs.
Well, Garrett, I mean, if I had to be honest, they come in threes and he keeps getting caught after the second one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Marky Mark was arrested for attempted murder and taken to the scene of the first racist assault that he did, or racist attempted murder, and he told police, "I'll tell you right now, that's the motherfucker whose head I split open," and then made numerous unsolicited racial statements of a McCainian nature.
Good lord. Oh man. Well, to be fair, he was on the Straight Talk Express. Where was Mark?
He was on some sort of smashing Vietnamese...
Street corner or back of a police car is where he was.
He pleaded guilty to felony assault and only served 45 days of his sentence for that racist attempted double murder. He would claim to have been on PCP at the time.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? NKOTB. And in fact, that's good advice to our younger listeners. If you avoid the racist assaults being on PCP, also a good strategy for business.
I don't know.
Straight to the top of the boardroom or whatever people say.
Not that.
NKOTB released Hangin' Tough in 1988, the same year as those racist assaults that Marky Mark did. This one had a more quote-unquote urban sound. That's the internet's words, not mine. This album did really poorly at first, and they were almost dropped from Columbia, but wouldn't you know it, a fucking Florida radio station started playing it, and it really took off from there. Columbia shot a music video which they sent to radio stations for some reason. That's almost certainly a typo. And all of a sudden, everybody just loved them. They did Showtime at the Apollo and Soul Train for some reason. Maurice hired them a band, and they went on tour as the opener for Tiffany. Then MTV started playing their stuff. They continued to tour with Tiffany, but now she is their opener, which sounds pretty humiliating.
Yeah, that's tough.
Hangin' Tough hit number 1 on the Billboard 200 and would go octuple platinum. It sold more than 8 million copies in the US alone.
There was definitely a copy in our house.
Yep. April 24th, 1989 was then subsequently declared New Kids on the Block Day by none other than Garrett P. Harvey's maternal uncle, Massachusetts governor and favorite presidential candidate Michael Stanley Dukakis. Go Wildcat.
Go eyebrow caterpillars.
What to do next, Garrett? Christmas album. They released Merry Merry Christmas featuring the song of the week in September of 1989, the perfect time to release a Christmas album. But they were on top of the world here. They released Step by Step in 1990, now co-writing and producing some of their songs, taking over a little bit for Maurice. That album hit number 1 on the US Billboard 200, and it went on to sell almost 20 million copies worldwide. Again, largely due to the influence of Michael Dukakis on popular culture in the early 90s. They were the top concert act from 1990 to 1992 with the Magic Summer Tour sponsored by Coca-Cola brand soda pop beverages. They made $74 million on that tour in like early 90s money. 3.2 million people went to see them. They had lunchboxes, comic books, a Saturday morning cartoon, a sexy hotline 1-900-909-5-KID, dolls, malls, more. They had estimated sales of $400 million in merchandise, Garrett.
Oh my God. My buddy Gregory, I just remembered when you said it, he had a lunchbox.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
As it should have been. They were making more money than Michael Jackson, Madonna, or Prince at the time, Garrett. They did the 1991 Super Bowl halftime show, although it was not broadcast because George H.W. Bush had a Gulf War speech that for some reason was competing with the Super Bowl, which is why we should have voted for Michael goddamn Dukakis, because that man respects the sport.
What a strange and different time it was.
Yeah.
Glad all of you are paying attention to me, because we're going to go into the Gulf. What is this? I thought we were watching the Super Bowl.
Also in 1991, Donnie Wahlberg was charged with first-degree arson for setting fire to the Steelback Hotel in Louisville when he dumped vodka on the carpet and allegedly intentionally lit this on fire. Because he was the bad boy of New Kids on the Block, you see. Now, he was facing 20 years in prison for this, where the self-described bad boy would meet some objectively bad men, but somehow managed to plead that down to a misdemeanor and eventually got it completely dismissed simply by appearing in some public service videos about drugs, drunk driving, and fire safety. That's how powerful the allure of NKOTB and Donnie Wahlberg were at the time.
That's wild, because I find him incredibly uncharismatic.
Agreed. In 1992, former NKOTB boy Marky Mark Wahlberg, according to court documents, and I'm quoting here, without provocation or cause, viciously and repeatedly kicked his neighbor Robert Crahan in the face, while another man, Derek McCall, held the victim on the ground. Wahlberg's attorney claimed that Wahlberg and McCall, who is black, his friend that was holding the guy on the ground was black. So they're beating up a white guy. They were provoked after McCall, one of the other sort of assailants, was called a racial slur by Crahan, which sounds right for Boston, doesn't really sound right for Marky Mark, unless maybe he's trying to overcompensate for some previous behavior, but that was settled out of court.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one.
NKOTB were accused of lip syncing by Gregory McPherson, a music teacher at Berklee College of Music, and also the string arranger for Step by Step, who said that Maurice Starr was doing all the vocals and they were just lip syncing. Maurice, NKOTB, and Gregory McPherson sort of sued each other back and forth. The boys flew back from a tour in Australia to perform live on the Arsenio Hall show, but admitted to having Maurice sing on some things on the record, some backing vocals, that kind of thing, and also that they were using backing tracks during live performances, and eventually all these lawsuits were just dropped. Then Garrett...
So are they singing?
I have no idea.
It seems like not as much as I thought. That's for damn sure.
Well, they'll sue the shit out of you, so don't say that.
Got it.
Then Garrett, tragedy struck. Grunge. Grunge happened, and nobody gave a shit about them anymore. The boys split from Maurice in 1993. He would go on to try and get other boys, and also attempted to control/revitalize Tiffany's career. He also leaned more into his general persona, which I haven't mentioned yet, but this is where he wears red, white, and black military uniforms with obviously fake medals like some sort of lunatic Jack White, although he was once forced to admit in an interview that he did not, in fact, get those medals that were pinned to his White Stripes-esque military outfit from actual military service, and that he was a liar.
He seems more like a Muammar Gaddafi type.
Yes, but more focused on boas and music.
So I'm really hoping that there's at least some sort of Lou Pearlman level justice for this asshole. How does this story end?
I think pretty well for him, or at least it just fades off. The boys released Face the Music, which did not do very well. They had to play clubs and theaters for that tour, which was a disappointment. Then Jonathan Knight left the band due to anxiety attacks, and they split up. They did some solo music projects, and Donnie Wahlberg became a celebrated actor. Celebrated actor.
Sure.
I celebrate him. On September 11th, 2001, former NKOTB boy Marky Mark Wahlberg canceled his ticket on American Airlines Flight 11, which would go on to crash into the North Tower of the World Trade Center right here in the Big Apple, to go to the Toronto International Film Festival instead, which I think is suspicious.
What did he know? What did he know? What was he not telling us?
Right. New Kids on the Block reunited in 2008, releasing The Block, which hit number 2 on the US Billboard 200. In 2008, they had a record that hit number 2 on the US Billboard 200.
That's fascinating.
They toured with Ladence Gaga as an opener, and of course did a bunch of NKOTB cruises. Donnie then became a celebrated restaurateur with his brothers Marky Mark and Paulie Paul, with 32 locations of Wahlburgers in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, as well as a number of food trucks and 10 seasons on A&E, catch the magic.
10 seasons? Is that what you said?
On A&E, yes, catch the magic.
That isn't their slogan.
I will admit I did not have time to look up the A&E slogan, but I bet it's something like catch the magic.
What's crazy is how hard you pressed on it like you had. You could have let it go or not even done it. Fascinating.
2012, Garrett, former NKOTB boy, Marky Mark Wahlberg, announced to the world that he could have stopped 9/11 from happening had he taken his intended flight, saying, if I was on that plane with my kids, it wouldn't have gone down like it did. There would have been a lot of blood in that first class cabin, and then me saying, okay, we're going to land somewhere safely, don't worry. Now, that is so objectively crazy because, for one, he seems to be implying that all those passengers were cowards, which is hilarious.
It's rude.
It is rude. He had to apologize when the families were like, hey man, fuck you. He seems to think also that he could have single-handedly overpowered those box cutter wielding fellas and their CIA handlers, or thought he was compelling and charismatic enough to have inspired everyone else to rise up. And I'm going to tell you this right now, if it ever comes down to it, I will not die under the command of Marky Mark. Absolutely not. Deal breaker.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the craziest thing is that he says that he would have been the one saying, okay, we're going to land somewhere safely, don't worry, not the pilots, which to me implies, like, in his scenario, the pilots are dead, right? And he's taking control. Like, he thinks that he is literally capable of landing a commercial airplane.
Yeah, that's the part that's true. Well, it's all pretty fucking crazy. One, you'd think that. Two, you'd say it out loud. But three, the detail that has always stood out to me, and you're picking up on it beautifully, is the implication is that not that he stopped the assailants, but in the melee, of course, the pilots were killed.
He seems to think of himself as the Arnold Schwarzenegger character from True Lies, I think, where everyone's like, you can fly a fucking plane? Yeah.
It's a veritable passenger 57. He thinks he's Wesley Snipes, and he is no Wesley Snipes.
Nope, always bet on black.
Thank you.
Anyway, he of course apologized after every single person on Earth said basically the last paragraph that I've said to you to his stupid, stupid Irish face. NKOTB toured with Backstreet Boys as NKOTBSB, some sort of horrible acronym / portmanteau combo. And then they released 10, their 7th studio album, in 2013. Unclear why. They toured with 98 Degrees and Boys to Men. Keep in mind again that this is a 44-year-old Donnie Wahlberg doing this, right? He's already done all those Saw movies and Kevin James's excellent film Zookeeper featuring Joe Rogan. This is a grizzled Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, this is like 2 hair transplants in Donnie Wahlberg.
Yes. Donnie then got married to Jenny McCarthy, who is, in her words, I'm quoting here, pro-safe vaccine schedule, and in the words of others, dangerous, reckless, and uninformed.
Policymaker.
Yes. Jonathan Knight worked as a real estate agent. He did come back, I think, for some of these records. I don't know if he tours with them, but he was outed as gay against his will by a former lover in the National Enquirer. He went on but did not win The Amazing Race in 2015 and began hosting Farmhouse Fixer on HGTV in 2021. NKOTB milked and continues to milk nostalgia for boy bands, doing a bunch of tours, new videos, other boy band stuff, a lot of like compilation and greatest hit stuff. They released a new album, Still Kids, which, to be clear, they are not, in 2024, and they started a Las Vegas residency in 2025, which will last until at least February 2026. So they're still doing this, Garrett.
I mean, they, at least at this point, they can just, well, they keep releasing new music, and that's what kills me, is like, if you want to go have a residency at some garbage casino and let people get, high on the nostalgia of it all, sure. But you cannot, in any serious manner, be like, and also new music too, huh? No.
Yeah.
They don't even really like the old music. They just used to like it and want to feel like they used to feel. Yeah. You're the closest they can get.
We all want to feel like it's 1990 again. And Garrett, that's pretty much it for the history. I just want to say, I think we're legally far enough away from any of the allegations or stories that I have told on this podcast so far that I can say this without anyone being able to technically connect this to anything. I think Marky Mark's got one more in him. Do with that what you will. What could I be talking about? It could be anything. Peace and chaos be upon you, Garrett, and a very merry Bahaman to you as well.
Chaos and peace to you as well, and Bahaman to you. you. No, a sturdy Baja. Good stuff. Ridiculous formalities out of the way. Let's take a little listen to this song, folks. Get ready. Strap in. You're not prepared for how bad this is.
The fireplace council said I won't get better.
Funky, funky Christmas.
Barely a song.
Yeah, this is bad.
Barely
Garrett.
a song.
It's a terrible Christmas song. It's kind of a skit at parts.
At most, it's kind of a song at parts.
Yeah, the lyrics are terrible, the sentiment is terrible, the raps are terrible, the beats are largely terrible. Everything about this is terrible. It is a little funky. It's not like James Brown or P-Funk funky, but it's a little it's white guy funk.
Yeah, it is. It's like corporatized white guy funk.
Yeah.
It's bad.
But I do love it when somebody tries to write a new Christmas song, like a contemporary Christmas song. Like they try to put their own personal stamp on it. And it always fails because there's this insane hubris behind it. Like, I'm going to make everybody's Christmas about me, when people like Mariah Carey did pull this off. I will give it to her. But
yeah,
other than her and maybe the Christmas Shoes Boas, like nobody's going to start associating Christmas with you. Like nobody sees Christmas and thinks, again, people might see Christmas and think Mariah Carey. Nobody's seeing Christmas and thinking fucking Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, no, God, I hope not. How sad for them if so.
Yeah.
Ugh, I just despise him.
I mean, he's not the worst Wahlberg.
That's true. Who knew?
Garrett,
it's like the Prince Michael Jackson thing.
I have some really bad news. It didn't relate to this episode, and I'm not going to go into it any further. Marky Mark, not the worst Wahlberg. I know some things.
There's another one?
Oh, Garrett. Donnie Wahlberg has 8 siblings and I think 3 half-siblings.
Oh, no. And you're telling me that both Donnie and Marky are not the worst Wahlbergs?
In my opinion, no.
Fascinating. That's crazy. I don't ever want to know why.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
legally, I'm not allowed to say. Don't know.
I don't think you should say that. But seriously, we might bleep some of that. You shouldn't say that. That's a crime. Okay, let me talk a little bit about who's on this album besides the boys. Maybe you know something I don't, but I got very frustrated trying to figure this out. So you get an intro to this song, and we'll get to the content in just a moment, but the intro is done by somebody called MC Santa Claus. In parentheses, his real stage name is supposed to be Little Train the Elf.
I assumed that was bullshit.
It is bullshit because that's not a person. I looked it up. But also, like, let's just ignore that for a moment. Little Train the Elf? Huh? That's a name? Folks, I know you're confused at home. I'll say it slower. Little Train the Elf. Like, come here, Little Train. What?
Yeah, so he's like a rapist, right? So he's Lil Train, but he's actually little, right? So like most people that are Lil, they're not, so he's, the Elf is like his title, right? His name is Train, he's Lil, and his station is the Elf.
Okay, you broke it down. And then for some reason in this song, he goes by MC Santa Claus.
Well, yeah, it's a Christmas song. Oh, I guess he could have been going, yeah, elves are Christmassy.
Yeah, so I never really figured out who this person actually is. I don't think it's anyone in the band.
Yeah, no reason to Google it.
I did Google it.
Oh, I did. Don't care.
The internet was like, what are you... Honestly, it was one of those times where you put something into Google and it's just like, well, there's not a lot of results for this. Are you sure you didn't type gibberish? No, I'm not, sir. It says Little Train the Elf. It might be gibberish. Anyway, musically, I don't even know how to describe this. My notes actually say, what instruments are these? I hear a woodblock and a ratchet.
I mean, it may as well be that. Have you seen them play this live?
No.
So because I went looking for a music video. I hope you didn't find one. I did not.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, what I did find, though, was them performing this. They did a very sexy Arsenio Hall performance. And
Good God.
Girls are screaming like Beatlemania. At some point, they break it down and hand the mic over to Arsenio Hall, who raps a verse, like battle raps a verse at them. For our younger listeners, Arsenio Hall was a Johnny Carson in the late 80s, early 90s.
He was really good at his job, but I don't know what happened because his ratings were really good. And then all of a sudden he was canceled.
Yeah, it's a shame. I like him.
I do too.
I like him to this day.
He has very long fingers.
Well, okay.
That's not a knock. I'm just saying next time you're watching Coming to America, it's curious how long those fingers are.
I wish I had longer fingers. I have very short, stubby fingers.
You do, because I don't have the longest fingers either, but I feel like I'm Arsenio Hall standing next to you.
Yeah. I also feel like sometimes you're Arsenio Hall.
Remember the woofing? The woo, woo, woo.
Yeah. Maybe that's why
Let's
it got
bring
canceled.
it back. Oh, okay. So there literally is a wood block. And when I say ratchet, we're all thinking of a pneumatic ratchet or something. That's actually the name of the, I'm using this loosely, instrument. It's, Tim, you know those little things you spin on like New Year's Eve? Like they're like, they're noisemakers. Like, yeah, it's that.
Yeah, you
and
may
it's
as well
horrible.
put something in bicycle spokes.
Yes, that is exactly what it sounds like. Well said. All right, let's get a little into this because we've kind of explained that it's a bunch of horrible nonsense, but let's get to the quote-unquote content. We open with MC Santa Claus, a.k.a. Little Train the Elf, a.k.a. a homeless man that was brought in to record it, I assume. He says, ho, 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 oh, little train, my little elf, another great Christmas. And then you hear, I presume, Lil Train say, oh man, it's boring. It's boring. Same thing every year. And then Santa replies, so let's have a funky Christmas. And that kicks us off.
I have a little bone to pick with this here because their sentiment seems to be that Christmas, the most magical of holidays, the progenitor of Christmas shoes and icy Pissmas. I mean, this is the reason for the season. They seem to be saying that this is a boring and lame and I'm their words, not mine, queer holiday. And it's not. It's not. Listen, they're not making Christmas better.
No, they're not.
But they seem to think that Christmas, like without them, Christmas is just queer.
So I think that it's you got to put your head in the mind space of a 14-year-old to 17-year-old boy. He wants to get away from the lame stockings with mom and dad and eggnog and all that bullshit, and wants to get funky. No, Tim, actually, he wants to get funky.
Maybe pour some vodka on a hotel floor and set it ablaze. I get it.
Sure. Put on some sunglasses, turn that hat backwards. We're talking
Punch
like
a Vietnamese
levels
man.
of cool.
I get it. Yeah.
Punch a Vietnamese man. Try to gouge his eye out. Be disappointed to learn that somebody beat you to it. All the things you said happened.
He did apologize to that man in like 2006, and he was forgiven, but I mean,
yeah. Have you seen that guy? What would have happened if he had said no? I come all this way. I try to apologize to you. I'm going to make you accept my apology.
Jesus Christ.
I accept. No, I don't think you accept hard enough. I'm going to get a couple of my bros over here. We're going to help you accept my apology.
Jesus Christ.
Say hi to your mother for me. You know, he's like one of those dudes that like had a serious problem with Andy Samberg making fun of him on SNL.
That sounds right, because he sucks.
I think, because he sucks. Boy, we made it that whole time being pretty nice to Marky. Oh well. All right, back to the song, Tim. And folks, if you can't tell yet, we are procrastinating because it sucks. Song continues. And this is where we finally get the boys, and they begin with the chorus. Have a funky, funky Christmas. Have a funky, funky Christmas.
But it's sung in this laid back, like, have a funky, funky Christmas. Like, every time I heard this, I thought of that classic 1992 ICP anthem, Redneck Ho. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Bitch, use a hoe. And hoe use a bitch.
Use a bitch.
Everybody knows that use a funky, funky bitch. Bitch,
I didn't
use
remember
a hoe.
the back. Yikes.
It's great.
Yeah, we've definitely lost some IQ points doing this show.
That's
okay.
excited for next week, Garrett. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, you got to stick around to the end to find out how we're celebrating our ICPissmas this year. Spoiler alert, it involves ICP. Okay, song continues. New kids on the block, let's rock. It's Christmas time. We're going to celebrate it with a rhyme. Danny D, are you ready? Ready as I'll ever be. Steady. You know Joey Joe is ready. Jordan John, yeah, come on. We got a funky, funky Christmas going on.
Right, so we get the classic band introductions here.
Yes, I love a good boy band roll call. It gives you a sense of their personality, Tim, because you know that, like, Joey Joe is ready, and they're calling him Joey Joe. We're getting a little insight into how they talk to each other. It's pretty cool. And then you got Jordan and John, and that's more of a, yeah, come on. Like, and it's basically the boy band equivalent and the rest.
Yeah, no mention of Donnie D and his Molotov cocktails, though.
No, he's in the back doing God knows what before he comes out on stage. Song continues. It's basically the chorus again, and it sounds so sad and forced, just like you said, Tim. It's have a funky, funky Christmas. Like, I'm giving it too much emotion. Song continues. Oh, I do want to mention, like, there's not really ever any directive on how to have a funky Christmas.
Oh, I think it's to have a New Kids on the Block Christmas, right? Just play their music. drink during Christmas.
Song continues with Mr. Jordan Knight, arguably the most talented NKOTBer, him or maybe McIntyre.
I think the Knight brothers are both pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're the backbone of the band. Jordan continues, funky Christmas and a funky New Year. I swear we got ourselves a party here. Girls on the floor. Know our posse at the door. Should I stop? Nah, cool. Here's more of this song, a funky Christmas melody, cause Jordan K feels so Christmassy. Throw your hands in the air, pause. Kick the ballistics, Santa Claus.
Every bit of that's terrible.
It's really bad, right?
Yeah,
my notes are not really descriptive beyond I hate this.
Yeah, the pause Santa Claus delivery reminds me, it seems like they're going for like a Beastie Boys kind of delivery. And
yeah.
No. Apparently this is a reference to Flava Flav saying kick the ballistics, which means drop some science somehow, because I guess ballistics require physics. I don't know. I don't know and I don't care. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't care either. Yeah, what is that? Public Enemy's song? Night of the Living Bassheads. That's what it is.
Don't care.
It's not great. Then we move on to Joey McIntyre. Sneaking downstairs on Christmas Eve, I saw a sight that you just wouldn't believe. Saint Nick by the fireplace, dusting off his beard with a frown on his face. He said, hey. I said, what? He said, you. I said, what? He said, you left the fire burning and I burnt my butt. So now I've learned you've got to turn that fireplace down so Santa won't get burned. I mean, do we even need notes? This is one of the worst songs we have ever done.
Yeah, it does seem like good advice, but other than that, I agree completely.
I disagree. I am of the impression, maybe you disagree, Santa is magic and cannot be killed by conventional weapons.
I don't know. Have we? Interesting. I mean, do you consider your fireplace a weapon? That's automatically a little bit troubling to me.
I'm just saying, he's not harmed by conventional means, I believe.
Okay.
And yes, a fireplace can be a weapon.
Okay, troubling. Have you ever used a fireplace as a weapon?
What I didn't mention about Joey McIntyre's verse,
Move right past that.
don't know what you're talking about, is that the entire thing was delivered in a terrible British accent.
Oh, yeah. Why?
Nobody knows.
He's
to
not
this
British.
very day. No, he's not. But they let him do that.
He said you left the fire burning and I burnt my butt. Like, this is music. It's for children, but it's far too stupid for stupid children.
Yeah, it's very clumsy. Chorus again, and then we get to, I guess it's supposed to be Santa. And I gotta say, I really don't like Santa's voice.
Agreed.
Yo, MC Santa, you didn't know my boy Donnie could play percussion, did you? I didn't have a clue. Yeah, get busy, Donnie. Donnie gets a drum solo.
I don't think he does, though.
No, it's definitely not. Somebody does something with a drum kit, I don't know what, and you hear, yeah, Hey, check this out, little train. Go ahead. Oh, man, then we get the ho-ho breakdown.
Yeah, we do.
Ho, 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 ho. I don't even know what it is. It's terrible. Oh, God. Remember that? What did the fox say?
Yeah.
Wonder if that guy's still alive.
Don't know. Then we get another chorus. Have a funky, funky Christmas. Bitch, use a hoe. And hoe use a bitch.
No, that is a different song.
Everybody knows that you're a funky, funky bitch. It's a good song.
The next verse comes from Danny Wood. He says, slipping and sliding through the city streets of Beantown, getting down to the Christmas beat. It's Danny D. I'm here with Christmas cheer. No feeling to end the party of this year. It's going, I'm showing. Fresh rhymes I'm throwing. It's snowing outside, but we ho-ho-hoing. Santa's on the way. Sleigh bells are ringing. Swinging. Everybody start singing.
Now, do people from Boston really call it Beantown, Garrett? You claim to be from Boston, sort of.
I don't.
Oh.
That's amazing. I've known you almost, 19 years? I definitely don't.
It's,
considerably longer, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I hate it too.
No, they don't.
All right.
They don't. They do put it on cheap merchandise to sell to rubes.
So right, because they're all a bunch of fucking Irish traveler descendants who are just there to scam you. They're filth, Garrett.
Do it for a caravan. It's not for me, it's for my ma. Who? His ma. Anyway, finally, the man of the hour, Donald Wahlberg, pipes up. And he says, and I gotta say, before we even get into it, this is threatening. Donnie begins, it's Christmas. Can you swing this? Joey replies, yeah, funky dope jam, top of your Christmas list. Do you dig this? Boy!
Ugh.
There ain't no twist, just something you wish for and you almost missed. Huh, funky Christmas. And have a happy new year. How could you be booing it with Donnie D doing it? Gross.
Yeah.
Donnie sounds consistently considerably older than the rest of these boys. And
Yeah.
I am alarmed.
Yeah, he's a real Garrett.
Nope, please don't ever say that again.
Sorry, you're a real Donnie Wahlberg.
That was implied and definitely what I meant for you to never say again.
Oh.
All right.
Sorry, I thought you were like
suicide
protecting
for
him.
Garrett again tonight.
I thought you were protecting his honor. I apologize.
I hate you. I was in a hotel one evening and I was flipping channels whilst the remote died mid-channel flip. And I landed on like Discovery ID or like the Murder Channel. It was one of those. Mm-hmm. And the opening, like the show was just starting and they're doing like the opening credits or whatever. And it's just like, when spouses go wild, or not wild, when spouses betray. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to get up. I'll watch some true crime bullshit. And then fucking Donnie Wahlberg comes walking onto set. And he's like, spouses, can you trust them? I'm Donnie Wahlberg. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta get up and change this. I can't do this. He's everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
I was, one day I was just like, what the fuck has Tom Selleck been doing for the last 20 years? Shouldn't that guy be like doing stuff? Turns out he's trapped on CBS on something called Blue Bloods. And I was just like, what in the fuck is Blue Bloods? Guess who's there? Donnie fucking Wahlberg. And apparently he got a goddamn spinoff. Now he's on something called like Boston Blue, which I think is just a spinoff of Blue Bloods.
Celebrated
Like,
actor.
Yikes. Last little bit here, we've got the outro. It's back to MC Santa Claus, aka Little Train, or I guess it's MC Santa Claus and Little Train the Elf. I see. So, ho ho ho. This is the MC Santa Claus and my elf, Little Train. Yeah, Merry Christmas, says Little Train. We gotta kick the ballistics of our Christmas wishes. Twice, guys? Twice? Where's my list? Yo, it's right here. North Side Posse. Oh, yes, yes. Lou, Funky Christmas. Maurice Starr and his brother Michael. Oh, such a nice boy. Yeah. Posse B. Oh, Biscuit. Andre. Butch. Johnny. Ooh, Scott. Oh, he's a
Please
great boy.
stop. Oh my God. Nobody cares. This is bad. This
Yeah.
is bad. This is nothing.
It's really bad. It's really bad. It is nothing. You're right. So he basically just lists all of these people from his life.
They always have a buddy named Biscuit or, dog shit or,
Mutt.
yeah.
Or
Boston
like,
Bobby, who is the worst person you've ever met.
Like a Keith.
Yeah, there's always a Keith.
I know one good Keith. Do you know a good Keith?
No, but I don't really know any Keiths, I don't think.
Fair enough. Consider yourself lucky.
To our Keith listeners, we're not talking about you. We're talking about
of
your
course not.
friends who are named Keith.
Yeah, you're the good one. Mm-hmm. They get it. Okay, Tim, that brings us to the music video, which there is none, thank the Lord, which means I get to ask, how did it do?
Well, this was not a single, so I don't technically know how the song itself did.
That's
the
fine.
album did well, though, Garrett. This sold more than 2 million copies in the U.S. alone. It hit number 9 on the U.S. Billboard 200. It was certified gold with 28,609 sales in Finland based on the Music Kutuajat, which I assume is the Finnish secret police of music. It hit number 13 on the Finnish Suomen Virallinen lista, number 33 on the Japanese Oricon chart, number 43 on the Swedish Sverigetopp lista, number 13 in the UK, and number 76 in the Dutch. This was the 99th best-selling album of 1990, Garrett.
Wow, tough year.
Yeah, apparently.
Gross. Interesting. What did people think of it?
Well, there are 7 total ratings on Amazon, 100% 5-star, and none of them are interesting. So, I went to the lunatics on YouTube. This first one is by I Love Noodles 7483 from 5 years ago. This boy band was the epitome of what a team should be. They were all one band, and each one of them made up the band, but each of them were still individual, and their each individuality was still celebrated as a human. Most of their songs has a lead singer for that one particular song, but the whole band was singing and doing instruments for the same song as well. Their albums had each individual member sing the lead for 1 to 2 each, so that not one individual got haughty and conceited. Can't say the same for the rest of the groups at that time. This Christmas album is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. All their albums are like that.
I like that other boy bands of the era get shade. It's like, what the fuck? Who cares? Like, who would that even be?
I don't know. I don't know.
Boys to Men?
I guess. But they really, I feel like they mixed it up too as far as who was singing.
Yeah, I agree. Boys to Men, New Edition. Shit, there's a couple others. Anyway, what I I really would love to know is, you said that screen name is I Love Noodles?
That's right.
So that person, when asked to come up with a screen name that represented them, encapsulated their lifestyle and the things that they're into, they landed on I Love Noodles.
Perhaps they have some sort of noodle tasting YouTube channel that I did not properly investigate.
Oh, okay. That would make some sense.
Jim Goad, 7702 from 7 years ago. It's not that I believe in karma or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if people who don't think this is the greatest Christmas song ever would suddenly get cancer and die.
Okay, I don't know what he means by that, because it can't be what I think, and if it is, we need to investigate him.
He wishes cancer and death upon those who do not think that this is the greatest song ever.
Greatest Christmas song. He's not crazy.
Oh, fair enough.
It's so bad, though.
Yeah, it's real bad. Maybe the worst.
I don't know that I've ever wished cancer on another human being.
The last one that I have here, Garrett, is by Shadow Dragonette from 11 months ago.
Of course it is.
2024 Xmas. I woke up thinking of this song. Had to hear it. This will be the only gift I get today, and I don't mind. Keep singing, guys. Love you, John.
Oh, no.
That's a sad,
That's so
sad lady. Cool name, though. Shadow Dragonette.
Yeah, I guess. I'm pretty bummed now. Should we, try to make a wish her? Get her something this Christmas?
Nah, I think we fix her up with a cancer guy. Shadow Dragonette and Jim Goad could make a nice run of it.
What about I Love Noodles? Get out of here, I Love Noodles.
Yeah, talking about teams. Fuck off.
Great reviews, Tim. That is to say, you read some. Who's this for?
Man, I don't know. This is for, apparently it was for everyone in 1989, specifically horny girls. They were screaming on the goddamn Arsenio Hall show. This was apparently for people going to the Apollo Theater without checking to see who was on the docket that day. People that really love teamwork, and I guess people who have nothing else going on Christmas.
Lonely people and tweens in the early or late 80s.
Yep.
Okay. Final thoughts. This song's terrible. There's almost nothing to it, and it was a clear, obvious cash grab, and among that cash grab, we have chosen one of the worst songs on that album.
Yeah, but this was one that they wrote themselves. This was a Donnie Wahlberg and Maurice Starr original. I'm not going to do White Christmas as performed by these guys.
Yeah, that seems pointless. Okie dokie, Tim. I know the answer, but it's here on the agenda, so I'm going to do it. Do you hate this album?
Yes, I do, Garrett. This is really terrible, and I feel like this song should be ashamed of itself.
That's fair.
What about you, Garrett? Do you hate this song?
Yeah, of course I do. I don't even need to think about it. I like how you managed to inject some amount of uncertainty into that question. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know, Garrett. Maybe your Boston roots have been activated here, like some sort of winter soldier for.
Yeah, that seems to be what you're implying. What am I about to do? Some sort of Manchurian candidate?
Well, maybe, now, but maybe.
Do I murder, or do I just become some sort of activated, horrible New England garbage person?
Yeah. But
shut the fuck up, you stupid queer.
There it is. But you swing your arms quite a bit.
I swing my arms quite a bit?
Oh yeah, that's their dance. They swing their arms front and back quite a bit. It's real stupid. The dance, you might want to go back and watch that Arsenio Hall show, Garrett. The dance is almost as dumb as the song itself. There is this point where one of the singers, not Donnie Wahlberg, but he's got a jacket on, but no shirt underneath it, and he's singing and he's dancing, and he does this move where he whips it down his shoulders, exposing his shoulders and his chest, and then pops it up real quick so the censors don't get on his case. And Garrett, the girls go crazy, and I can't blame them.
Okay, you should blame, aren't they, children? What the fuck are you saying?
I assume adult women love them.
No, I'm saying you should not be saying you understand why the girls go crazy for those boys. You're an adult
they're
man.
19 at that point. Also,
okay.
I'm not into it. I'm just saying, I understand what they're doing. Also,
I see. Okay,
they're not going to let a 15-year-old boy expose himself or expose his upper regions on Arsenio Hall. Not even in 1989.
I think they are. It's 1990.
Ugh.
I have one memory. Yeah, one actual memory of watching Arsenio Hall as a child. I may cut this, but it's a story I've definitely never told you, and I will tell it very quickly. So one of my friends in elementary school was deaf, and he...
This is a sad story.
Yeah.
I hope that kid turned out all right.
He did. He actually turned out great.
Great. We should have him on the show.
Nope.
Because he can't listen to music. I get it.
God damn it. We all got it. Jesus, dude.
Anyway, so we've cut all of that because your story
I hope not.
made me real sad. We probably, okay,
Yeah,
how
it's a
about
real
this?
sad story.
To the listener, I apologize for the 14-minute long bleep you just heard. Garrett's story made everyone sad. It was a real downer. We don't need to do it again. But apparently, the deaf kid turned out great, which is awesome.
I hope we did keep that part. Gotta find the feed if you want to hear the whole story, folks. It was tragic.
Yeah, but
Okay.
ironically, you have to lip read it because we bleeped it on the feed too.
I didn't even know we could do that.
Oh, yeah.
Golly.
The trick is you pre-bleep everything and then you remove the bleeps later on things that you're allowed to say.
We're the Hulk of podcasts. Our secret is we're always bleeped.
Yeah.
God, I don't think I understand how the bleeps work. Okay, let's move on. Listener mail. You've got some. I've got some. Who wants to go first?
I think you should go first, Garrett.
Okay, my email, Tim, I may have read before.
Oh.
And I don't know because I don't pay attention. And this person has very much emailed us before with similar themes, but it seems like 5% less insane than the one I remember. So we'll assume it's him following up.
Okay.
We'll see. It's from Colin, and Colin writes, "Salutations, gents. As commanded by our Lord and Savior Bugnish, I have composed this less feverish email for your reading pleasure."
We did request a less feverish email, I believe.
I do believe so. To start, I apologize if I came off as riding on a high horse in my previous email. In all honest to Bugnish reality, I had no idea what I was talking about, especially with the whole Roger Waters advancing society thing. What? Even worse, I wrote that email 100% sober. Bear in mind, I don't drink or do drugs, but at times my autism will get the better of me?
Yeah.
For that, I'm sorry. On a lighter note, I enjoyed your Space Jam episode, but one thing was on my mind the whole time. When I first saw the movie, I could have sworn that Steve Miller's version of Fly Like an Eagle was in the film and not the Seal version. I thought I recognized his raggedy, butthurt dad rock voice from anywhere. Granted, that was many years ago, but I can still vividly remember hearing Steve Miller in the film. I attempted to speak with Bugnish about it, but he was too busy with more important matters. So instead, I went out to the garage to whittle a pipe. Not for actual use, of course, but because I felt like it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this rambling, and I hope you both have a good day. Bugnish be with you, Colin. P.S. Here's the pipe. And he attached a picture of a pipe.
Oh, I like it. I think that what Colin is, presumably GHB here, I assume what he is dealing with is some sort of Mandela effect, wherein CERN, in their lust for power or whatever, has broken open our reality, and so things are sometimes changing, but not for everybody.
Right, you're defining the Mandela effect, but what are you talking about?
Well, the fact that in his reality, Steve Miller played Fly Like an Eagle.
I see. Yeah, sliding windows. Got it. Sliding doors. That makes sense. Yeah, it's a very strange email. Let's see. What emails do you have, Tim?
Well, I have an email and a YouTube comment. I'm going to do the YouTube comment first. It's very short. This is by Dasharioljun95, aka Finn. Again, on YouTube comments from last week's Blues Traveler episode. He timestamped 5015. Once again, the propofol takes hold. Not only did you do a Spin Doctors episode, John Popper was mentioned repeatedly. In fact, in that episode, you nicknamed him Big Daddy Pop, which is a great nickname. I wrote back to ask if he preferred that to Jopper. I wait to hear back. But Dasharioljun95, we shred it and burn it for reals. I have no memory of any of that.
Yeah, how could you possibly expect us to do this week after week and keep all of that in our head? We'd go insane.
My actual email, Garrett, is from Franklin, whomst hates me. This is an email you may have already read, but no one marked it unread, so I assume we have not. Dear Mr. Harvey and Batman the Dog, I'm about to start a podcast about podcasts. It's going to be called Why I Hate This Co-Host, and have planned my first season and a half about Tim. This being said, I could use some deep dives to drop at the end of episodes. Also, I'm worried about Daddle not getting the jokes, so don't forget to explain your jokes so he understands them. Then he gives some recommendations. Album, The End by Black Eyed Peas. That's a good one. Prepisode, Looks So Perfect by 5 Seconds of Summer. And Solo Cast. Would love to see a Tim solo cast. Could really help me with material for the new podcast. P.S. Tim, Redneck Brawl is a boxing league. I assume that's something we discussed. 3 60-second rounds, 16-ounce gloves. I'm willing to call you out, Timothy Bleep Richardson. I'm 130 pounds, 5'9". I can cut up in weight, but I'm not getting fat because you want to be a chubby bubby. Redneck Brawl 11, Pally Boy. Me and you, if you want to accept, I'll happily shoot a link over to upload your info. Okay, bye now.
Wants to fight you. That's awesome. But like kind of in a fun way.
Maybe. I've seen his photo. He looks, and Franklin, I hope this doesn't make you hate me more. He looks a lot like Carrot Top in his Gmail photo. And I'm scared that it is Carrot Top because that guy is not 130 pounds. That guy is terrifying.
Yeah, that guy's name is Scott. What's this guy's name?
Franklin. But he could be lying about what his name is. So I guess, Franklin, I'm going to need some full body shots.
Okay. This is how we got into trouble with Anna Paquin. You're going to need to just stop all this.
Not nude.
No, not nude, of course. It's just still, please don't say the phrase, I need to take in your physicality. It's just...
Well, he seems to want to take in mine.
That's a great email. You know, Tim, I don't know how you do. You're physically fit as all could be. You're filled with rage to the brim, but you don't have a ton of experience fighting.
No. I do have those 6-shooters, though, so probably well.
God, yeah, and you love cheating.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes. Okay, I'm going to read my second email, which again, I may have read before, but it's so weird. So this email is from the Crow King.
Oh. In already.
He writes, Bountiful gasms be upon you. It is I, the young Crow King. Heed my words, Mimothy Robertson and garish Harlequin. The crow has risen. Taste of his billowing baubles and be filled with odious merriment. Do not be dismayed, for the Crow King has come to bring a tasteful smattering of gasms of all varieties to the putrid muckles of the world. I hope this stench sucker of a message finds you sassy saucepans well. Always remember, Garth, trust your buddy Timothou at all times. Just for Timmers. Always remember, buddies give buddies a dreamy oh, gross. This is ruined. Buddies give buddies a dreamy from time to time.
Okay, well, we're definitely bleeping that word.
Yeah, we are. And then he has some album suggestions. First, very spooky ones. May I propose a decennial spook year? Meet Sparch Spook. Okay, I don't actually know what any of this is.
You're losing us, emailer.
Yeah, and then he said, here's some good ones. Tiny Tim, God bless Tiny Tim. I unironically think half this album is actually very good. Tiny Tim for all my little friends, which is upsetting. Slipknot, We Are Not Your Kind. Kiss Monster, and the Jennifer's Body soundtrack. That's a very good suggestion.
Yeah, it is. Great movie,
that
too.
Movie's. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to talk later.
It's if you can. Okay, I'm just going to say this. If you consider that a sequel to Juno, pretty goddamn good sequel. Not in the Hall of Fame, but it's a good sequel.
Gino, mark the time. Write Jennifer's Body. I'll know what it means. I hate you. I really hate you. What does this to you?
I don't know anymore. I've ruined my personality by pretending to be an idiot.
You've lost all tether with like who you used to be and what's real and what's the show. I have to remind Tim from time to time, we're not recording. You don't have to do that. And he's like, do what? Music news of the weird. Tim, kick us off.
Music news of the weird.
All right, Garrett, in This Guy Really Needed a Win news, Billy McFarlane finally had a music festival where musicians performed and people watched those musicians perform. Billy was, of course, the mind behind Firefest, which was a miserable failure that could easily have killed a bunch of people in 2017 and resulted in Billiam pleading guilty to various fraud charges, being fined and sued and going to jail. He then tempted fate with Fire 2 in 2025, which we, the journalists at WIHTA Podcastery Studios, reported on this very spring. That obviously didn't happen. There is a musical in development called Firefest the Musical, which is allegedly coming to Broadway or possibly off-Broadway. Believe it or not, though, Garrett, this jackass actually sort of successfully put on a festival, Phoenix in some island off Honduras, and thus far, no one has been stranded or killed. Now, not a lot of people attended. Consequence.net claimed it was just a few hundred, which was backed up by Billy saying in a statement, "We set out to bring 400 people and a dozen artists to a private island in the Utila Bay Islands, and the experience exceeded every expectation." So if you're only going for 400 people, I guess we can call it a success. But those that paid...
I mean, not numerically, but sure.
Well, if that's your goal, if you say this is the goal. So it's like when we give our goals for listenership, we're meeting them. They're modest, but we're meeting them.
They are so very modest.
Yeah, we're doing better than Phoenix or Firefest, though, I can say that.
Oh, yeah, way better.
Some people, though, bought VIP passes, which cost $14,000 and came with scuba diving and a cave hike, as well as lobster and a floating, and I'm quoting here, bathroom barge. Ugh. It was also live streamed. You could buy it for $6.99. According to Consequence.net, only about 100 viewers were on it at any one time, so apparently they didn't even draw some sort of Reddit crowd hoping to see a disaster. French Montana Bobby Shmurda and Slim Jzmi were the headliners, I guess. I have never heard of any of that. Or, well, I've heard of French Montana. But at one point, apparently a one-legged man crashed the stage during French Montana's set. But this is good news. It seems like Billy is not going to go to prison for this one or end up owing the government $26 million. So all in all, kind of a win.
How did he pay off all the other fines?
I don't know that he did, Garrett. Also, Ja Rule, maybe. Maybe they made him do something. Maybe he scammed a bunch of people into giving him money and then used that to pay the government for his scams.
Wouldn't surprise me. Seems to be how a lot of people do it.
Yeah. Garrett, what news do you have?
Well, Tim, in pretty much everybody saw this coming news, Weezer's bassist, Scott Schreiner, and his wife, Jillian Lauren Schreiner, are getting divorced.
Oh.
Now, I don't know them personally. I'm merely speculating. In fact, I'm not even speculating. I'm just reporting what I've heard other people speculate about. And it might, Tim, have something to do with that time back in April when Jillian allegedly pointed and fired a gun at LA officers who were looking for a suspect near her Eagle Rock home.
Yeah.
And then Jillian was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder of a peace officer, but then was later charged with assault and negligent discharge of a firearm. And Jillian managed to avoid jail time, but a judge granted her a diversion as a result of mental health issues, making this podcaster look up what that meant. And it's basically a fancy way for rich people to say, I was just having a really tough case of the Mondays, and so I fired at an officer. So, turns out Scott Schreiner's done with all that.
Good for him.
Yeah, it seems like a real nightmare. God damn it. You fucking shot a gun at a policeman's head and you didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Good job. Tim, what other news do you have?
In KISS news, Garrett, KISS got Kennedy Center honors that are now meaningless earlier this month. Ace Frehley, a.k.a. The Spaceman, didn't make it because he died in October, as we all know. And Gene Simmons, a.k.a. The Demon, who is a dickhead, felt the need to comment on The Spaceman's passing. So, The Spaceman died after a fall in his home studio, with an autopsy declaring the cause of death to be accidental blunt force trauma, and had apparently been sober for 2 decades. But the Demon isn't quite too sure about that, allegedly. He said, the Spaceman refused advice from people that cared about him, including yours truly, to try and change his lifestyle. In and out of bad decisions, falling down the stairs. I'm not a doctor. That doesn't kill you. There may have been other issues, and it breaks my heart. Now, this seems to imply that, 1, he's unaware that a fairly simple fall can kill a 74-year-old man, which is something he should be more concerned about, being a around 74-year-old man. And also that the spaceman was off the old wagon seems to be something that he's implying.
Yeah, it's in terrifically poor taste. The whole thing. In fact, the very last sentence he says is, the saddest thing, you reap what you shall sow, unfortunately. Which I want to point out 2 things. 1, again, sour grapes. Why in the world do you need to say that for a man who fell down, got a brain bleed, and died? Most 70-something-year-old people, I shouldn't say most, many 70-year-old people die exactly that way.
Yep.
The second thing, though, is let's break down what the Gene Man said. The saddest thing, you reap what you shall sow. That doesn't make any fucking sense. What you shall sow? It's what you sow. You reap what you sow, not what you're gonna sow. It's not future tense, you stupid bitch.
So he was predicting that he was gonna fall off off the wagon, and as a result, in the future, and as a result, in the present, died of some sort of...
He was murdered.
Interesting.
By his staircase.
Interesting. Yeah, but I mean, he has a history of this, right? In 2016, when Prince died, the demon felt it necessary to say how pathetic that he killed himself, which is not what happened. But anyway, Garrett, the demon is apologizing to all the people who were offended by his constant barrage of bullshit and douchebaggery. Also, be sure to look at those Kennedy Center honors photos if you haven't. Kiss is apparently made up exclusively of skeletons. And listen, I'm not a facial surgeon, but I guarantee you I could do a better job of surgically altering faces for cosmetic purposes than whoever did whatever to Sylvester Stallone. That man, Jesus Christ.
I think it's two doctors not working in concert.
working in opposition to one another. It's basically it's the cosmetic surgery version of the Star Wars sequel debacle.
He fired the guy he hired initially and brought in a new guy halfway through. Oh my God.
One of them was trying to directly upend the other's work, and then the other guy came in to try and get it back on track or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Can you use pieces that were there originally and maybe cut around it so it appears new? No, it's a face. Why are you awake right now?
Oh.
Jesus. So, not what I meant, but very funny. What I meant is I think that we'll call him nutritionist, is giving him supplements, and his face mangler is tightening ever so much. But when you get that Barry Bonds effect, we all know what that means, nerve tonic, you end up looking like the bad guy at the end of The Mask. Without the green.
Fair enough.
Oh,
yeah.
Good stuff.
The demon, though, also got the opportunity to testify before a Senate panel this past Tuesday on legislation that will, if passed, require radio stations and corporations to pay performers for playing their music. It's called the American Music Fairness Act. So apparently AM and FM radio stations are required to pay royalties to songwriters and music publishers, but not the performers or music labels. All of which to say is radio stations are apparently still a thing. Who gives a shit
this
about
just
any
in.
of this?
There's terrestrial radio somewhere.
Yeah. Garrett, what incredibly long multiple news stories that sort of involve the same guy do you have for me?
Well, a good number of mine you just covered. So my last story tonight is in If Ghosts Are Real, for the Love of God, You Don't Want to Live Here news. Liberace's old LA pad is back on the market after 22 years, and the asking price is a very reasonable $3.195 million.
Oh, ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real. That place is haunted as fuck, and it's filled with a bunch of sad men that were made, speaking of plastic surgery, that were made to look like Liberace so he could off. True story, everybody. Google it. Scott. Point is, there are a few iconic things. First of all, it's a 17,800 square foot lot featuring 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, a bright, wide open interior, and a private primary suite that doubles as its own suite entrance to the number one feature of the house, Tim, and that is, of course, a giant piano-shaped swimming pool. Giant. It's huge.
Garrett, I'm going to propose something to you, and I want you to let me finish before you react.
Okay, but I think I know what it is, and you know what I'm going to say.
Let's buy that house and move into it. It's not that much.
It's super reasonable. So here's the thing. The Father of the Bride house, it went on the market like 10, 12, maybe even 14 years ago now. And if I had used every dollar and a loan, I could have bought that house. And I didn't. Now it's worth like God knows how much. But I would have lived in the fucking Father of the Bride house.
I bet it still smells like Steve Martin.
Oh God, could you imagine?
No, I couldn't. I would be in heaven.
You made it stranger somehow. Anyway, I don't want to miss another opportunity like that, but I'm worried that my fear of missing out is going to drive me into a very poor decision, like moving into a haunted, horrific gay man's house that did unspeakable things to people. Yeah, I don't know. But that pool's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, here's the other problem. What if we buy Liberace's house and then, like, the next day, the Father of the Bride house goes on sale?
And we're never going to get rid of that Liberace house.
No one else is buying that. That's why it cost $3 million.
It's an albatross.
I assume that whoever owned it for the past 22 years has sort of like physically fused into the walls so that like sometimes the face kind of pushes through all like, what's that, poltergeist style?
Right. So they claim that they love the house. They've owned it for 22 years, but they're having another kid, which is an interesting thing. Having another kid, and they just need more space.
I'm sorry, 17,000 square feet?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But 4-bedroom.
Still though, like convert, that pool into a bedroom.
It's a very big pool.
Yeah.
It's a grand piano. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's all my news. What do you got?
Well, in my last story, Garrett, this is some PETA news. You see, Garrett, PETA has requested that Alice in Chains change their name for a while to sort of help an elephant. They wrote what appears to be an open letter to the band saying, "Dear whoever, coming to you with a wonderfully strange request from us at PETA. Would Alice in Chains be willing to go by Betty in Chains across social media for a month to spotlight a dear elephant who literally spends her life in chains? In a nutshell, we're turning up the volume on our efforts to rescue an elderly, disabled elephant named Betty." And it goes on like that. They basically essentially are requesting them change their name. They then also released a press release saying PETA is encouraging Alice in Chains to get loud for Betty with a temporary name change that reminds everyone to stay away from animal abusing circuses. They kept doing this goddamn pun thing.
Yeah.
They continued, if only in my mind. We are a little bitter about how you are treating the rooster and those lab monkeys. Yeah, it's fucking, here's the problem.
Who came up with this?
It's a worthy cause. Like, in general, don't torture animals and make wild animals perform for you, but do it in a way that doesn't make me hate you more, I guess.
Right. Yeah, do it in a way that doesn't make me reconsider how much I love animals.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we've ever officially said it, Tim. We are lovers of all animals. Well, not all animals. Snakes can go straight to hell. But almost all animals. Well, adorable animals. We are lovers of animals, mostly.
If we could, we would adopt that elephant. In fact,
absolutely.
If we had that Liberace pool, we could adopt that elephant.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be irresponsible.
No, I don't
Let's
think it would be at all. Yeah, there we go. Betty, you can come live with us.
We can't live in the house.
Why not? Oh, I guess because
it won't haunted.
Well, also, like, I take your point that it won't confine us to a close enough proximity so that we get the most out of this working relationship, right? We need to be confined to a close enough space, Garrett, so that we're bouncing off one another so that we build up the dynamic that everyone comes back week after week to hear, and for the people that have found the feed to see.
Right. So you're saying we got to get in the pool with the elephant.
Sure, we can do that. But what I'm saying is, if we buy this house, we should cordon off about 1,000 square feet and not extend into the rest of the house. That can be for our other activities, but our actually living space should be relatively confined.
I vote we camp out in the backyard and never go inside.
I mean, I'm a little scared too. Maybe if that elephant protects us.
Won't you boys come inside? You see him too, right? Oh, yeah. We're not going in that house.
Yeah, I mean, elephants are very intuitive. I suspect that, it could be our bridge to the other side,
Or we make the fascinating discovery that ghosts are both real and their only weakness is the wily elephant.
Yeah. This elephant is 56 years old, Garrett. That's horrible. It's been in circuses for 5 decades. We should do this. We should get this elephant.
I do not think that's what they were ever asking for or volunteering. I don't think we can buy that elephant.
If we can't get this Liberace house, we just release him into Central Park, and then, I'm sure like he'll hide during the day, or I guess it's a she. She'll hide during the day.
An elephant.
Right. I mean, look, they go down into the reservoir, poke that little nose up, and, it stays down there until night when it comes out and rampages around. Then you got some sort of Loch Ness Monster situation, and we've done this city a goddamn favor.
Giving it a legend.
Exactly.
I've heard it. That is to say, I hear it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in an official request for this elephant. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah, it's free to ask.
It's free to take too, I bet.
That's true. It is free to take. What do elephants eat? Mice? I feel like I read that somewhere.
I don't think so. I think they're scared of mice.
Oh, that's it. They're scared of mice. They eat vegetation.
Well, New York is probably not an ideal place for them. Maybe they're okay with rats.
Yeah, that's totally different. God, they're so big.
Yeah.
Okay, great news, Tim. Been a weird one this week, but it means that we're done. So we get to announce what album we're going to be doing for a very special annual IC Pissmas Christmas episode. Tim, what are we pissing?
Garrett, I am so excited. We get to once again combine the holiest of seasons with the spookiest of seasons, and this year we are going to be listening to ICP's 2025. That's right, this very year, their album, The Knot. The Knot. The Knot. The Knot. It's gonna be bad, I bet.
I'm hoping that it is a blatant ripoff of the Neverending Stories, The Nothing.
Ooh, that would be amazing. I'll have to watch The Neverending Story this week.
Have you never seen it?
No, I gotta refresh myself, Garrett. I watched it on a plane when I was a child.
Oh man, I watched it so much growing up.
It was one of those HBO things, huh?
Yeah. It was like the only thing for children on. That and Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, that and late night pornography.
There was a good deal of that.
Yeah.
Real sex and taxi cab confessions. Those were fun. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So another Icy Pissmas coming around the corner. I'm excited, Tim. I know nothing about this. Like I said, I hope it's a blatant ripoff of some other property.
They're honestly pretty original, though, usually. Bitch, use a hoe. And hoe use a bitch. No one else is saying that.
That's true. No one else is saying that.
Bitch and whore.
You're saying that.
Yeah.
You say it quite a
Everybody
bit.
knows that you're a funky, funky bitch.
Is it bitch or hoe? Who cares? What does matter is that we're done here. So folks, reach out. hatepodmail@gmail.com. We need to hear from you. You can also find us on social media. Instagram is hatepod. Twitter's album hatepod. I'm G Harvey Tweets. There's subreddits, Discord servers. It's mostly for the listeners. We're not on there too often, but occasionally we pop in to see what you creeps are up to. It's typically weird and somewhat disappointing. Most importantly, if you want to get to us, Instagram's the easiest. No, email's the easiest. hatepodmail@gmail.com, then Instagram, and then beyond that, your guess is as good as mine. That's going to do it for this week. We look forward to getting back with you next week for a healthy IC Pissmas episode, but until then, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other Timothy P. Richardson, and in a rare departure on December 9th, 2025, Gino said cute couple, followed by everyone looking at the television, which was tuned to CNN, only to see a photo of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, did he know?
Bad take, Gino. Really, really bad take. I have no idea. No one knows.
God damn, dude. I mean, he has notoriously bad takes.
Yeah, but that's pretty bad.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Good night, everybody.